Okay, this is the YouTube version of Jimmy's trivia for this week. Let's get started. Rules, same as always. Here we go. First category, in the news. 5 questions about stuff that's happened since last week. Your first question, the entire government of what European country resigned last week after a scandal in which they falsely accused thousands of working families of fraud in regards to the receival of child care benefits? Question 2. The Buffalo Bills find themselves one win from a Super Bowl berth, and Western New York and Bills fans cannot be more excited. To show their excitement, what household item do Bills Mafia members routinely break in celebration? Question 3. This week it was Betty White's birthday. How old did the star of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, Golden Girls, and many other productions turn? Question 4. As people flock away from big cities such as Toronto and Montreal, smaller cities such as Halifax and Kitchener-Waterloo saw a 2% population growth from 2019 to 2020. What city on the outskirts of the GTA was the only one to see a higher than 2% population growth, making it the fastest growing city in Canada, at least for 1 year? The last in the news questions, who sang the U.S. national anthem at the inauguration of President Joe Biden? Okay, the next category is called We're Under Attack. This is all about alien invasions in movies. Here's your first question. Who directed the 1996 film Mars Attacks? Question 7. By what technological means did Jeff Goldblum and friends defeat the alien invaders in the original Independence Day movie? Question 8. What is the name of this creature? And it's not alien. Question 9. By what means did the men test to see which one of them was an alien in John Carpenter's The Thing? Don't have to get super specific. And the last question in this category, who led the army of alien invaders in the first Avengers movie? Okay, your next category is called Sea Power. This is all about famous naval battles. Here's your first question. An incident in what Gulf in 1964 was the most direct cause of the U.S. increased engagement in the Vietnam War? At least that's the excuse that they gave. Question 12. The 1916 Battle of Jutland in the First World War was the last major naval battle fought primarily with what type of craft? Question 13. Speaking of craft, the Battle of Hampton Roads in 1862 during the American Civil War was the first engagement in combat of what type of ship when the USS Monitor met the CSS Virginia? Question 14. In what decade did the Spanish Armada fantastically fail to meet its goals of invading England due to poor weather and the harassment of the English Navy? Your last question in this category. The Battle of Tsushima is one of the largest naval battles of all time and is one of the best examples of the devastating naval tactic of crossing the T. In what war was the Battle of Tsushima? Okay, your last category in round number 1 is called The Shoe is on the Other Foot. This category is all about shoes. Here you go. What type of boot shares a name with an accomplished British soldier? In fact, is named for him. Your next question. What is this type of sandal pictured below? Question 18. What would you call this type of heel? Question 19. Made popular by the Beatles, what is the type of boot pictured below? And the last question, in shoes. What is this brand of dress shoe pictured below? Okay, that's the end of round number 1. Let's do some answers. So, the entire government of the Netherlands resigned last week. Buffalo Bills fans routinely break tables, specifically folding tables. Let's see this guy here. Betty White turned 99 years old. And the GTA city with the highest growth rate in Canada is Oshawa. And last in the news, Lady Gaga sang the national anthem in war, whatever this is. Aliens, Mars Attacks was directed by Tim Burton. Jeff Goldblum defeated the aliens in Independence Day by giving them a computer virus, effectively. This creature is called a xenomorph. In The Thing, they basically administered a blood test. That's the gist of what they did. You also can be more specific, but you don't get any more points. And question 10, the alien invaders and Avengers were led by Loki. Okay, naval battles. An incident in the Gulf of Tonkin essentially sparked the Vietnam War, at least the American involvement in it. The Battle of Jutland was the last battle to feature battleships. Battle of Hampton Roads featured for the first time ironclads. Previously they were fighting like these wooden boats and they tore them apart. Spanish Armada was destroyed in 1588, so your answer is the 1580s. And the Battle of Tsushima was from the Russo-Japanese War. Shoes. A type of boot that shares a name with the British soldier. That's Wellingtons or Wellies. This is a croc. This type of heel is called wedge. And this boot is known as the Chelsea boot. And these are Doc Martens. So those are your answers for round number 1. Let's get to round number 2. Just pretend I played a song by Queen. This category is called Someone to Love. It's all about famous couples. Who is the person covered up here? This person. Question 22. Who does Wall-E spend most of his time pursuing in the 2008 film? Question 23. Who was Martin Luther King Jr. married to? Question 24. What is the familial relationship between Queen Elizabeth II and her husband Prince Philip? So obviously they're married, but they're also related by blood. What is that relationship? And be specific. And your last question, who was the last wife of Julius Caesar? Okay, next category is called Spotlight Brazil. It's 5 questions about Brazil. Who is the current president of Brazil, and for bonus point, in what year did he assume that office? Question 27. How many times has Brazil won the FIFA World Cup? Question 28. Born in Brazil in 1981, who is this Victoria's Secret supermodel pictured below? Question 29. In what 19th century decade did Brazil gain independence from Portugal? Guess 1 out of 10 chance there. And your last question, true or false, Brazil borders every country in South America except for Chile. Okay, your next category is called Historic Animals. It's all about animals that are extinct. Here's your first question. To what island in the Indian Ocean was the dodo bird endemic? Next question. Castorides, an extinct animal native to North America, is a giant type of what modern animal? Question 33. What is the name of this bird previously native to countries in the North Atlantic region, including Canada, that went extinct in the mid-19th century? Question 34. Thought to have gone extinct over 60 million years ago, what is the name of this fish that was remarkably discovered very much alive in the 1930s and is now regarded as essentially a living fossil? Because it's so old. And your last question in this category, previously native to Australia, what is the name of this now extinct marsupial pictured below? Okay, your last category in round number 2 is called contains a body part. In this category, every answer will contain a body part. Easy peasy. Your first question, a garment a priest might wear. And this is different from the one last week. Question 37, this type of sofa pictured below. Question 38, a race of villainous humanoids from the Star Trek universe. Here's one of them. Question 39, the origin of this word is from the 19th century and is meant to mean decorated with a certain fabric imported from India, but today means cheap and of poor quality. And your last clue in round number 2. This Superman villain pictured below, named presumably for his intelligence. It's the same character. Okay, that's the end of round number 2. Let's do some answers. This person is Portia de Rossi, partner of Ellen. Wally spends most of his time pursuing Eve. Martin Luther King Jr. was married to Coretta Scott King. Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, you actually had 2 options here. They are both second cousins once removed, and they are third cousins. Because those families are so intertwined. And the last wife of Julius Caesar was Calpurnia. Brazil, the current president of Brazil is Jair Bolsonaro, and he assumed office in 2019 on January 1st. Brazil has won 5 World Cups. This supermodel, her name is Adriana Lima. Brazil gained independence in the 1820s. And this is false. Brazil also doesn't border Ecuador. Animals. The dodo bird is endemic to Mauritius. Castorides, the clue is in the name. Castor is the French word for beaver, I think. It's a giant beaver. This animal is known as the great auk. And this fish is a coelacanth. This is a Tasmanian tiger, despite not being a cat. It's marsupial. Body parts. Garment a priest might wear. That's cassock. This is a cassock. This type of sofa is a Chesterfield. This race of humanoids in Star Trek, they're called Cardassian. I doubled up on ass. Deal with it. This word, meaning cheap and of poor quality, is chintzy. And this character, his name is Brainiac. Okay, let's move on to round number 3. We're starting with Who Am I TV version. So I'm going to do a Who Am I style question. Your answer will be some character from TV. Here we go. Here's your first one. I am a doctor from the planet Decapod 10, but I lost my medical degree in a volcano. I routinely have difficulty telling humans apart from robots, and one time accidentally reattached a colleague's head on backwards. Who am I? Here's your next one. This is a lot. I have had quite the eventful life. Among other things, I once drove into a Prada store while high. I have been abducted by a Thai drug lord, a Saudi prince, and Somali pirates. I met Beyonce in Mykonos, accidentally poisoned the guests at my birthday party with a cake made in Guangzhou, China, got caught shoplifting in the Hamptons, and once dated all three Hanson brothers to get backstage passes to the Teen Choice Awards. Who am I? Question 43. I have a teenage son and a new baby girl on the way. I am way overqualified for my job, and I have a cool hat and an obnoxious partner. Say my name. Question 44. I am a former relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox and now am a small business owner. I am a recovering alcoholic, and some might call me a womanizer. Who am I? And your last one, I am a police detective for the LAPD, and although I may not look like much, what with my crumpled beige raincoat and apparent ineptitude, I always get my man in the end. And I have just one more question. Who am I? Okay, that's the end of that category. Your next category is Where My Peeps At. So I've done this before. I'm going to give you 3 countries. You have to tell me which one has the most or the biggest population. So each one of these is multiple choice, essentially. Here we go. Your first trio of countries: Afghanistan, Canada, and Saudi Arabia. Which of these countries has the largest population? Your next trio: Brazil, Nigeria, and Pakistan. Question 48. France, Thailand, or Turkey? You'll be happy to know none of these are, I don't think any of these are particularly close. 49. Uganda, Ukraine, or Uzbekistan? Assholes. And your last one, number 50, Australia, North Korea, and Yemen. Okay, let's go on to general knowledge, 5 random questions. Here's your first. What does the word sophistry mean? Is it the practice of predicting the future through the weaving of cloth, the art of decorating objects with paper cutouts, or the use of false arguments for the purpose of deceiving? Who is the only actor to be killed in movies by all 3 of Predator, Terminator, and a Xenomorph, which we learned tonight is from Alien? Question 53. What would you call someone who collects stamps? Question 54. In what U.S. state was Martin Luther King Jr. born? And your last general knowledge question, what is the formal name of the Burlington Skyway? You might be surprised to learn it actually has a name. Okay, let's move on to the 3-pointers. Your first 3-pointer, name any of the actors who have portrayed Nelson Mandela on screen. And there's a lot. Question 57, in what countries were each of Donald Trump's wives born? He has 3 wives, or has had 3 wives. 58. After Captain Picard, what is the chain of command on the Enterprise in Star Trek TNG for most of the series, at least? Question 59. Name any 3 of the members of the boy band NSYNC. And your last question. What are the 3 pieces in a 3-piece suit? 1 point for each. Okay, that's the end of round 3. Let's do some answers. So who am I? I'm from Planet Decapod 10. That's Dr. Zoidberg in Futurama. This whole mouthful of stuff, this is from Schitt's Creek. Alexis Rose often tells ridiculous anecdotes of her past. There's a lot more to choose from. 43. Overqualified for my job with an obnoxious partner. That's Walter White from Breaking Bad. Former relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. That's Sam Malone from Cheers. And this one, the police detective always gets his man. That's Columbo. Peeps. I don't even remember what the answer is. I think this one is Afghanistan. Then we have Pakistan, Turkey, Uganda, and Yemen. Those are your answers. Question 11. Sophistry is the use of false arguments for the purpose of deceiving. This middle one, that's decoupage. This top one, I think I just made up. 52. The only actor to be killed in Predator, Terminator, and Alien movies. That's Bill Paxton. But sort of Lance Henriksen works too, although he was an android in the Alien movies, so that doesn't really count. Someone who collects stamps is a philatelist. Martin Luther King was born in Georgia. And the formal name of the Burlington Skyway is the James N. Allen Skyway. So actors who portrayed Nelson Mandela, there are a lot to choose from, so you just have to get any of the following three. We have Morgan Freeman, Idris Elba, Sidney Poitier, Terrence Howard, Danny Glover, Dennis Haysbert, and Clark Peters. So any three of that long list. 57. Donald Trump's wives were born in Czechoslovakia, so I'd like that instead of anything else. The US and Slovenia. 58. The chain of command on the Enterprise in TNG. I'm pretty sure this is correct. We have Riker and then Data, of course, no disputes there. And then the third one is actually Crusher. But if you said Troy, it looks like they basically have the same rank. But Crusher assumes command of the Enterprise in one episode. 59. The members of NSYNC, Justin Timberlake, J.C. Chazes, Chris Kirkpatrick, Joey Fatone, and Lance Bass. So any three of those. And the three-piece suit consists of a jacket, pants, and a vest. So those are your answers. Hope you had fun. See you next time.